Hey everyone, I am so thankful you're here. I can see a few of you are here. That is so exciting. Welcome. Thanks for being early. I love that. Good time to just take a few moments and breathe and get present. I'm so thankful that you're here. We're going to get started right on time in about 3 minutes. I'm on Central Time Zone. You're welcome to put in the chat where you are. I'd love to know that. The chat button, you'll need to go on the bottom. If you scroll over there and you'll see it says chat, and then you can start typing on the right. You can say where you're from. That'd be awesome. Your name will come up. My sweet friend Camille in Arizona. So glad you're here. Tori in Georgia. Look, we have East and West Coast, and I'm Central. Love that. Thanks for being here. Excellent. Time to grab some water if you need it. Turn your cell phone off. Get rid of all distractions. This is you time, and I am so excited for it. Hopefully you can't hear my snoring dog. She's snoring pretty hard. Those of you who have pets, you understand, I know. They want to be right under your feet. Good. If you're coming in, welcome. So thankful that you're here. Please do introduce yourself, where you're from in the chat. That'd be awesome. We already have East, West, and Central coasts are covered. I love that. And we're going to get started in about 1 minute. If you have any questions ahead of time that you know you want answered, Tori is with me. She's on my team. She's extraordinary. I'm so thankful to have Tori working with me on this project, and she's going to be watching for questions, and I'm happy to answer those at the end. Be great. Welcome everyone who's just coming on. So thankful that you're here. And we're going to get started right on time in about 1 minute. Really honored that you're taking this time for you. That says so much. There's millions of people that aren't here, but you are. And that's amazing, because I know all the right people always show up, the ones who want it, the ones who are ready. So I so appreciate your support. If you're just coming on, if you want to let us know where you're from, you can type that in the chat. If you don't know where the chat is, it's on the bottom. You got to scroll over the bottom, it'll say chat. You can open that up and it comes over on the right. I am going to screen share and bring up this beautiful presentation and share that with you. And you should see that full screen. Awesome. Well, we are starting right on time. I am Kelly Calabrese, and I have been waiting for this day for a long time. I am thrilled and honored that you are here. In fact, 1 year ago on my Facebook page, I wrote that this day would happen. So that is part of the intention of Intentionally Fabulous. Intention is on purpose for a purpose, and getting clear on what it is you want. So thankful that you're here. This is about going from fearful, where we spend a lot of our lives, to fearlessly pursuing what sets your soul on fire. So let's dig right in. So I'm not sure exactly where you are right now, but it's a good estimate to know that you're somewhere on what we lovingly refer to as the grief cycle. So that beginning stage where you just feel like a hurricane just came through and just scattered your life, and your heart is torn and you're not even sure what the future holds. And if you've been through any stages of separation and divorce, that was a part of it. Whether you were the one who initiated it, you received it, or even if it was mutual. Then you get to a stage where you kind of feel unloved, lonely, rejected. Your expectations haven't been met, your dreams have been shattered, and you're going through the phases of anger. And then you get to a place where you know you need to pull it back together, but you're not really sure how you're going to do that. And you're not sure if you'll ever be able to forgive and get healthy and ever love again. Or maybe you're at that place where you're like, I got this. I am ready to be intentionally fabulous. It is my time. And I'm here to say, wherever you are on that continuum, and it is not a linear line to health. We do this a little bit. We backslide, we go up and down, we have breakthroughs. That I am just thankful that you are here. So what we're going to get right into, what are the topics? Here is what you're going to learn by listening closely today. I have been on this amazing journey, and I'm going to share some of that with you. But in my discovery, there are 8 major strategies that I have uncovered that are the biggest levers to get you to go from where you are to where you want to be. And that first one is identity. You know, who am I? Discovering where your identity is. So we're going to go deeper on all these topics. I just want to put them right out front and introduce them so you know what's coming. Forgiveness. Oh, we hear that word and we kind of cringe, right? You know that's a biggie. We're going to talk about forgiveness, and I'm going to help you get there. And wow, you're going to have some breakthrough. Renewing your mind. I'm sure you've heard of this. You know, we are programmed to the past, and we're focused on where we were and what happened. And when we're doing that, we can't ever get present or imagine an amazing future. So we're going to uncover how to do that. Self-love and gratitude. Ladies, let's face it, we are not the best at loving ourselves. In fact, we're pretty hypercritical of ourselves. It's rare we just stand in the mirror and say, oh, we love ourselves, everything about ourselves. So we need to work on that, and that's an important part of your healing, and it goes right along with gratitude. The other 4 topics are purpose, because you do still have an amazing plan and purpose on your life. In fact, this life event, this separation, this divorce might be the thing that truly puts you into a new purpose that you never even imagined before. Divine health. You know, let's face it, divorce is a mental, emotional, physical, it is a stressor in every area. And at some point, something's got to give. But I want to get you back to a place of health and wholeness and healing. And we're going to talk about that today. It is possible. Abundant wealth. Women, and especially single moms, are the #1 group of poverty in the United States. And so I want to let you know it doesn't have to be that way. We're going to get that poverty mindset adjusted, and I am going to give you my best hacks for all of these, including the last one, celebration, and what I call resurrection, which literally is coming back from what felt like a dead place. So I am so excited to dive into these 8 topics with you. So let's just right out front say, who is this not for? This is not for you if you are not ready. You're still wallowing in self-pity. You're making excuses. You're just telling that story over and over and over as many times as you can in your head and to whoever will listen about how unfair and unjust and painful this is. And you're just not ready. And even if that's you and you're admitting that right now, still stay until the end, because this might be the thing that shifts you. So 2 fun things where I just want to let you know right up front, stay to the end, because everyone who does, I'm going to give you the link to get these 2 free gifts. So the first is a book, a best-selling book on Amazon that I'm in called Passionistas. And this book is the stories of amazing women who are overcomers, and they are sharing their tips of how they didn't quit and they persevered and they overcame the tough things, and even what they would say to their younger selves. So #1 Amazon best-selling book. My story's in there. You'll get the whole book, as well as my 1-hour interview with Rock Thomas. If you don't know Rock, you need to. He is a superstar. He had a very tough upbringing, and you could actually see his video on Goalcast. It was downloaded over 100 million times. Real estate mogul, huge leadership guy, personal development guy, and our whole talk was on what's great about this. And where you're sitting, you might not be able to imagine that today, but after that hour interview with Rock, something's going to shift. You're going to be in a higher place. So a little bit about me. So if you can see my mouse here, it's kind of sassy looking little me at 13 years old. Oh, I think we lost the screen there. I'm not sure what happened. Let's see. Oh, we'll go this way. It should be loading, but yep, there I am. So there's me at 13 years old. So somehow I knew at 13 that there was some power to vision. So these are actually my personal journals. And this red one on the bottom was the one that oh no, this red one, it's got bears on it. So back then I called it a diary. And in that diary, I wrote, I will be an exercise therapist. It was the very first thing. I really had no idea what that meant, but we do things to move away from pain and towards pleasure. And the pleasure for me was I love dancing, swimming, cheerleading, softball, running, jumping rope, bicycle riding, anything that I could do being active. I just love that endorphin rush. And I knew I wanted to help other people feel that well. And we also do things to move away from pain. And the pain for me was a really strong family history of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, cancer, stroke, alcoholism, cigarette smoking. And I just went, ooh, I don't want anything to do with any of that. So in the same journal, I wrote that I would own health clubs. I would marry a man 10 years older than me, which I did. I will have 2 children, which I did. A boy and a girl, which I did. I will go to college. No one in my family had gone to college. I said I would be in a triathlon. I would write a book. I said I will speak in Europe. And all of those things happened. And I also said that I would build my own home. And that home right there, I was building when I was 30, almost 31 years old. So just want to give you, planting that seed about the importance of vision. And that's going to come up in a moment. So a little bit more about me. I have been intentional and reinventing myself in every season of my life. And none of us have the stories that we thought we would have. As well as we could plan and as good as our intentions could be, things don't always go that way. So after high school, I finished 3 college degrees with high honors by the time I was 22. In my 20s, I got married and I opened health clubs. I managed corporate fitness centers. I founded a school. I bought and renovated a home. So those were kind of my 20s working years, did lots of traveling. In my 30s, I had my 2 children. I built the home of my dreams, which you just saw a picture of there. And I knew I wanted to be the kind of mom that was home to raise her kids. So I started writing, speaking, consulting, editing, spokesperson, media work. This was 21, 22 years ago when the internet was still getting going. And then I moved across the country, went from New Jersey to Dallas, and I started working in a network marketing company, wrote some best-selling books. I got to be on all the major networks as a lifestyle coach in health, fitness, and nutrition. And I was opening up boot camps around the world. And then I got served divorce papers on my 49th birthday. So that's how I ended my 40s. My husband of 23 years came home and he said, my commitment to our marriage is 0. And he left. And that was the bottom for me. That's where everything got emptied out of me. And I got put on this journey that I never wanted to be my story, but it was. And we have to manage, right? We have to deal with it or not. We have a choice in how we deal with it. So that was how I started my 49th year. And now in my 50s, in my bonus life, helping other women to do the same. So here's what I did. I was a little bit obsessed. In fact, it's fair to say I was a lot obsessed. I focused on healing like it was my job among all the unreasonable things that are happening during separation and divorce, selling homes, moving, changing neighborhoods, changing schools for the kid. I mean, just all of the change that was going on. I knew that I had to get well. In fact, I remember right before my ex-husband left, just sitting, looking across at him and saying, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be healthy. And he said, how are you going to have fun? Because he would always say, you're no fun. And so I was determined to figure it out. So I got out that blank vision board and I started dreaming again about what would my vision look like. In fact, I even have a vision board party. I invited my girlfriends over and I knew that community was important. I knew that serving was important. So I started mentoring a young girl. This is sweet Alana, who I was seeing every Sunday pre-COVID. And And that was so healing for both of us. I started journaling and doing exercises, just awakening from who I needed to leave behind, the person who was enabling and controlling, and awaken to the person I needed to be. I went on retreats. I went to Bible studies. I went to prayer groups. I went to conferences. I was reading the books. I literally had to dress in clothes that said things like fearless, bold, too blessed to be stressed. Every day wearing things that encourage me and having stuff all around my house. Here's a picture of me, literally with a crown on. I'm not sure if you guys are losing the picture as well, but I some days would just wear a crown because I needed to feel like I was worthy and like a princess. I have my little doggy there, my little security dog, my support dog. When I didn't feel like it, I still got dressed up, put on lipstick, and went out with my girlfriends. I really learned to meditate. We've all heard about it, but we haven't really maybe done it intentionally. I started getting intentional about meditating. I had never cooked before. My ex-husband said to me, stay out of the kitchen, don't cook. And I didn't. And I found out I'm a good cook and I enjoy it. And I like cooking healthy. I started intermittent fasting, making sure I was outside at least every day at sunrise and sunset. But wait, there's more. I was even more obsessed. I hired people to help do exercises with me. I brought in experts. I brought friends around me that I started mentoring young girls. I would invite friends over when I just felt like I was alone too long. More books, more podcasts. This is me sitting outside the healing place, me wearing shirts. I can, I will. I'm focused. I'm a warrior. I'm blessed. I started taking all the tests like the Strengths Finders and the DISC profiles. And ladies, if you're not getting the impression, I was determined. I was all in. This is one of my mentors in the bottom left there, Dennis. We were accountability partners. I had someone to check in with all the time just to make sure I was moving forward. And some days I wasn't, but I still took the phone calls and I still was honest and got truthful with myself. So here is the good news. You don't need to do what I did. Whew, big sigh of relief, right? You don't have to do all that I did. I was searching high and low for something to get well. In fact, I have one of the books here. I went to divorce care. I read the books on divorce. I was looking for one thing and I couldn't find it. So I had to create it myself. So what I did was I took the most master level, high level lessons that I learned, and I put them into these 8 modules, these 8 strategies, so that I could help other women who going through the same season don't have to have the same struggle and sadness that I did. We still have to go through it, but wow, knowing what I now know, I could have done it so much better than I did. And the women who I spoke to who are ahead of me, who I interviewed and had lunch with and did focus groups with, they agreed with me as well. So I put it all into this intentionally fabulous program. So I'm excited to share the 8 strategies with you. But before I do, I just want to share a few moments about the fabulousness. So it was only 2+ years ago that I was just crying and a mess. And now being in this flow, being in this energy, things are coming to me. I got asked to be on a TV show called Success Sisters. And I was also invited to be in their magazine. And now I write for every issue. And I was invited to be on the foundation, which helps to mentor young women. I was asked by Fox News, Lauren Simonetti, to be on her show about how divorced moms could be fabulous. And the most important thing to me out of everything was my children. And if you have children, you know exactly what I mean. And I'll be honest and vulnerable with you always. It got hard. It got ugly. A lot of tears were shed. There were a lot of sleepless nights. But now I can say, because of who I've become, that my relationship with my now 19 and 20-year-old is better than it's ever been. Our connection is one of the most fabulous things in my life. So I want to give hope to you who maybe are struggling or concerned about your children, that this is about you. This is not about your ex. This is not about your children. But when you change, everything else will change. I promise you. So, and if you have any questions, please do type them in the chat. Tori's going to be checking and I will be happy to answer those at the end. So my entire life changed, and really for me, I feel like it just started. I feel like I'm only just beginning. The moment that I decided and chose to be intentionally fabulous and heal, I started to fully live and be present. Trust me, if I can do it, you can too. This is not an exclusive club. I don't have anything that you don't have. We all have in us the ability to heal and be well. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a relationship guru. I'm honestly not even an extrovert, but I have been a health coach for 34 years and I've helped tens of thousands of people. So my commitment is for myself to be well, and then to put the information out there for you to be well also. It's a decision, and you have the potential to heal. So a couple things to keep in mind. One thing was I had to stop replaying the sad story in my head over and over and over. I literally would have to yell the word stop to change my mind and change my physiology. So we've got to stop replaying that. We'll talk about that when we talk about renewing your mind. I had to start believing that it wasn't going to be painful forever, that this is just a moment, it's just a season. And I'll be honest with you, when friends who were ahead of me would tell me, oh, this is the best thing that happened to you. Trust me, one day you'll say, I'm glad it happened. I thought, no, I want to be a wife. I don't want this to be my story. I thought they were being mean. They were right. I promise you, it is possible. You do have to take action. So I did something every day to improve myself, a little something every day, a step in the right direction. I had to give up perfectionism, unforgiveness, enabling, bitterness. Those were all my enemy, and we'll cover those in the 8 strategies. And I also had to realize that I have everything I need to heal. And with my guidance, you guys will as well. So let's just get right into the 8 strategies to heal from divorce. So number 1 is identity. So you may have found yourself just at some point going, how did I get here? Like literally, I don't know if you had that moment, but I did. It was not a good question to ask, but it's one that we do ask when we're just feeling like we're in another world that no longer resembles the one that we had or thought that we had. I will tell you, you are not your past. You're not walking around with a big sign across your chest that says divorcee. That's not who you are. You are worthy. You are not a failure. And this is a great time to really look at what is identifying you. And typically we get our identity from our culture, the media, our beliefs, our thinking, our environment. That's normal. We want to connect and attach to something. If you think about, teenagers at the mall, they all look the same. They're trying to identify with someone and they're all copying each other. And even as adults, we do that to a degree. So our ego typically comes from how we see each other. So being a wife, that is a big one. Being a daughter, a mom, an executive, we identify ourselves by what we drive, where we live, what we wear, all of those things. But here's the truth. When we identify ourselves with things of the world, they literally all could slip away in a moment. And that's when you start asking yourself, how did I get here? Who am I? It is an age-old question. So imagine if you could peel back those layers and identify yourself not by who the world says you are, but who you are from the inside. What if your identity could come from your heart, from your soul? This is a spirit, mind, body program. I know everyone probably has some very different beliefs, but here's what I hope. I hope that you believe there is something bigger than you, that there is a force, a power, a creator of the universe that is out there and even lives inside you, that is where your identity could be. When we are relying on another human, for example, a child, an ex-husband, a husband, to be everything to us, they are always going to fall short. It is not even possible. But a God who creates the universe is big enough that we can have our identity there. And how does he see us? He sees us as whole. He sees us as healed. He sees us as able. He sees us as complete. He does not see the flaws and the defects that we do. He doesn't make mistakes. So when you start to have a connection, a heart, soul, body, mind connection, your identity starts to shift and you get this amazing piece about you. So I know our call is only going to be about an hour today. So the number one hack that I can give you to quickly shift your identity is this. Every time you say, I am, and God calls himself the great I am, finish it with, and I love that. So for example, if you're saying, I'm broke, I'm broken, I'm heartbroken, I'm fat, I'm sad. If you're saying those things and you're finishing it with, and I love that. My kids are a mess, and I love that. I don't know where I'm going to live, and I love that. Whatever you say, stop yourself, train yourself, condition yourself to finish it with, and I love that. And eventually, you're going to have to line up with truth, because no one loves homelessness. No one loves poverty. No one loves, feeling broken or thinking their kids are a mess. So if you start to say that, eventually you're going to change your words, and your words speak life. They are life. What you say is breathed out and it has energy to it. So when you start to say, I am whole, I am healed, I am well, and affirmations like that you start with I am and say something that is true. And even if it doesn't quite look like it yet, your life will start to line up with that. I promise you. So I hope those identity shifts will help you a little bit. Write that down, finish every I am sentence with, and I love that, and watch what happens. And you could even, I'll give you one more little hack, say because. So I am healthy and I love that because I have energy to play with my kids. I am healthy, or I am wealthy, and I love that because I am debt free. So there's one more hack for you. Add the because to the and I love it. Okay, let's move on to strategy number 2, which is forgiveness. Now, this is the one I said you might find yourself cringing when you think of forgiveness. It's a tough one, right? Maybe you didn't grow up in a home where forgiveness was natural. Maybe no one ever said, I'm sorry to you. Maybe you never heard that from your parents or siblings or anyone, because it just wasn't your culture. So when we initially think about forgiveness, right away we tend to get defensive. Like, well, you don't know, what was done to me. You don't know how unfair, unjust, or I am not diminishing what happened at all. Everyone has a different story. There are some horrific stories out there that just are awful, awful, awful things happen to very good people. And I am not condoning that at all. So let's talk a little bit about forgiveness so you understand. The past cannot be changed, but it's foolish to keep punishing ourselves from things that happened in the past. We tie ourselves to these traumatic events in the past, and we hold on to unforgiveness. And really, it's just like layering pain every time we go back and think about it. Layering pain about divorce, resentment, guilt. If you were the one who initiated the divorce, you likely feel guilty. If you were the one who received the news, you likely feel rejected. But we can have forgiveness in all these areas. It is the start of the healing process. And I will tell you, for me, it was the start, and it was also the very last piece. So forgiveness is a moment and a decision, but it's also happening throughout, because there's always going to be new things to forgive, and we go deeper. So the person who hurt you the most, forgiving that person is the one that you will learn the most from and get the most freedom from. So I hope that excites you. Want to cover a couple of myths about forgiveness because I think people have some misunderstandings. One is that you don't need to beg for it. You do not need to beg for forgiveness at all. It's just something that you say. Once you ask forgiveness, you don't have to keep repeating it and go back. Do not hold your own feet in the fire or anyone else's feet in the fire to keep bringing up the same offense that you have asked forgiveness for or forgiven someone for. In fact, it says that sins are forgiven as far as the east is from the west. That means they're forgiven completely, 100%. We don't need to keep bringing them back up. Another myth is that you need to wait for the other person to say, I receive your apology or I'm sorry. None of that has to happen. This is between you and God. So it's not necessarily between you and the other person. In fact, I will just put you at ease and tell you that you maybe don't ever have to have that conversation. In fact, you don't have to have that conversation with the other person. It can be between you and God. Maybe that person is gone. Maybe they're in prison. Maybe it's not safe for you to see them for whatever reason. The forgiveness is between you and God. And I'll give you a fourth one we could say it's a myth, but some people say it's a process. And I will agree that it is a process because you can go deeper and new things come up. But it's a moment. It's a decision. So I want to share with you, this is my hack. So let me do the Hawaiian prayer as the hack. I'll do that last. But let's do the 7 steps to forgiveness first. Number 1 is that you thank God, because really that's where forgiveness comes from. So it comes from a place of gratitude, but God came to this earth for forgiveness. So that's really where it comes from, and that it's been completely 100% forgiven. Ask for who do I need to forgive and for what. So sometimes we feel like we know what it is we need to do, but a good thing to do would really to meditate and get centered and ask. You might be surprised at what it is and who it is you need to forgive. And that's when you know you're operating on a really higher level and going deeper. Then you need to think differently. So once you do that, don't keep thinking the same way about it. Is definitely, that's called repentance. Think differently about it. Forgive the offense. So it's in the past. Forgive yourself. And this is huge. I mean, I could spend an hour talking about forgiving yourself. This was one of the last pieces of my freedom. And it was a great one, because I'll be honest, I felt like a failure and I needed to forgive that in myself. And then you let it go. And that's where some of the freedom comes in. Seal it with a blessing. So I can honestly say personally that I am at a point where I can say about my ex-husband, who was engaged within a month of our divorce and remarried a few months later, I bless him. I bless his new wife. I hope they make it till death do they part. I wish them no harm. I wish them nothing but good. And I mean that from my heart. There is not a bitter root in there anymore, like really done with that. And that is huge. Commit to not remembering it, because again, that keeps us living in the past. And here's the last one on forgiveness. Step 7 is make it a lifestyle. So by that, I mean pre-decide to forgive so that you are a person who forgives. So if someone offends you right away, just decide, I'm going to forgive them, whether they asked for it or not. If what they did was rude, disrespectful, out of character, hurt you, just decide, I'm going to pre-forgive, and you're not going to carry that, because I promise you, you're not going to wish you spent a long time doing that. So I'm going to leave you with the hack here, but before I do, I know I mentioned the stages of grief a few times, so I just want to put it in there. I've seen a few different ones. I didn't even know what the stages of grief were before divorce, and it wasn't because I didn't have hardness in my life before. But this is the one that I think people really connect to and can understand. So starting with this, loss, the hurt, the shock, and then numbness, denial, outburst, anger, fear. If you want to put in the chat right now where you are right now, that would be really helpful and interesting just to know and see. Are you kind of starting to search for answers? Are you just in a place where it feels like everything is kind of blown up and disorganized? Are you at that, kind of anxiety, panic stage, guilt, loneliness, isolation? Here was some interesting news for me. Depression. When I first learned about the grief cycle, I was in the depression phase, and a friend of mine said, "Oh, you're in depression. That's good. You're on the upswing." And I was like, "Wait, depression is good?" And then when I saw this, I'm like, "Oh, I see. I get it." And then eventually getting to a place of being healed, being hopeful, adjusting to the loss, and even helping others. So let me leave you with my hack here for forgiveness. If you take one thing with you, there's a Hawaiian prayer. It's called Ho'oponopo. I know it's challenging to say, but if you want, just I'll put it in the chat after. And just 4 things, really, really simple. Number 1, I'm sorry. We can all say that, right? I'm sorry. That's simple. Number 2, please forgive me. Number 3, thank you. And number 4, I love you. So it's a really simple thing. You can do this with your kids, family members, but it's just really simple. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It's a Hawaiian prayer of forgiveness and repentance, keeps it really simple, and it's just a great hack that you can keep in your brain. Okay, so our next one, number 3, is renewing your mind. And, wow, I wish we had hours because I've just learned so much and studied so much, but I want to give you the best things that I can in a couple of minutes. I love this quote from Albert Einstein: "We cannot solve our current problems with the same level of certainty, information that created them." So where we are in our life has to do with all the thinking, the habits that got us here, right? So if you're thinking and speaking negatively, a negative thought is 4 to 7 times more likely to happen. So if you're sitting there going, "I bet he's going to try and sell the house and take all the money," and you speak that out loud, there's a 10 times greater chance that that's actually going to happen. That is the power of your words. So just want to give you a little image here. I don't know if I keep losing the screen. A little image here that you can see of this upward and downward spiral. So looking in the middle, if you see the negative one on the bottom, which starts with pessimism, so just being negative, you're looking for and attracting bad information. So this is the vibration that you have. That leads to frustration, irritation, impatience, doubt. You can see these just get heavier and darker. Worry, anger, rage, jealousy, hatred, guilt. And eventually you get to powerlessness, where you just feel like, I can't do anything. The world is happening to me. I am a victim. And that is the lowest vibration that you can be at, along with shame. I mean, that is right at the bottom. And you can see how that spiral can happen quickly. But here's the good news: the reverse is also true. So when you start to stop the negativity, because sometimes you just have to stop, right? I can't even be positive yet, but I can stop the negativity. And then I can get to a place where, okay, like I can be content here, and I could believe that things could be better. And I'm seeing and feeling a little bit of hope, and even higher, a little bit of optimism. And then you keep going, get enthusiastic and eager, and you get to a place of love and joy and freedom, and ultimately self-love and self-unconditional love. So here's my hack for you. The one big takeaway, if you can take just this, it's an exercise called Kailego. So like Legos, the little snap-on toys, Kailego. I actually learned of this from a comedian, and here's how it works. So today is September 30th, 2020. Imagine it was September 30th, 2021, and you were going to talk about this last year. So the 12 months just passed, and you're looking back and you're saying, wow, I am so glad that I took the time to heal from my divorce and create this whole new bonus life. Man, that girls trip, that was so refreshing and renewing. I'm so glad I did that. And wow, downsizing, that was such a blessing, because wow, the utility bills were smaller. I didn't have the financial stress, and it just kind of opened up this whole energy and flow for me to be receiving new things. And, I had that opportunity to do that side hustle, and that turned into something really great. And wow, the kids and I, we started to create our own holidays, and, we did this new fun tradition. And anyway, you get the idea. So my hack for this is you can talk it into the mirror to yourself every day. Do it for at least 15 minutes. Start with 15. You can go longer, get more deeper, more detailed. You can write it out. And that's awesome. I already told you I'm a huge fan of journaling. You can get a partner, whether you do it in person or over the phone, that give each other 15 minutes and just get in the habit of talking about how amazing this last year was. And what that's doing is it's getting you to think about the future as if it has already happened and you created it and it's been amazing. So I hope that helps you. So number 4, self-love. As I said, ladies, we're pretty tough on ourselves. The number one need that every person has is to be unconditionally loved. That's what we all want. Women also want to feel secure. Men also want to feel respected. But what everyone wants, including children, parents, is to be loved unconditionally. And as I said, no human can do that completely or perfectly. It just doesn't exist. They're going to fall short. That's why it's important that we rely on this, inner soul, this higher being, to get the unconditional love and support and truth from. So the more you love yourself, the less critical you'll be. What is true is that if you are critical of others, it's really a reflection of you being critical of yourself. I'm raising my hand. That was me. I was a perfectionist. I was super critical because I was hard on myself and critical of myself. Addictions really come out of self-hatred. Even things like depression, it's all a hyper focus on self and what's not right and what could be better. And so until we love ourselves and forgive ourselves, it's going to be challenging to change. When we do, miracles happen. You just position yourself in a whole new way of seeing the world. When you love yourself and you walk in the room, people will feel that. I mean, is there someone who, like, all the kids just love and run up to? They probably really love themselves and carry that energy. Well, you can be that person too. So along with that goes gratitude. And that's part of my hack for self-love is gratitude improves every area of your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, socially, spiritually, professionally, every area, giving thanks. And it all pours back into self-love. It changes your sleep, your self-esteem, your happiness, your friendships, your optimism, your generosity, and more. So here's my hack for you for self-love at bedtime, which hopefully we're all going to bed in the morning and at night. So 2 times that you're in bed, just take 5 minutes. You don't need to set an alarm, but just lay there and give yourself some love and gratitude, and then put some gratitude out there into the world. And if you might be saying, Kelly, you know what? I have nothing to be thankful for right now, or I am just angry at myself. Start somewhere. I've got a pen. Everyone's got a phone or a computer or something that they're watching this. They've got electricity. They've got Wi-Fi. Start somewhere. You've got a heart. You've got lungs. Start somewhere. Take a breath. Be thankful for the breath. So that's our self-love and gratitude. So we're right at the halfway mark. Awesome. Number 5 is your purpose. And I promise you, there is an amazing purpose and plan on your life. You have not squandered it. You have not lost it. It is still in there. It may be redirected. There may be a new purpose that comes about because of what you do with a past breakup, a divorce. It takes some work to discover it. This is not magical. I'm going to give you a hack, but it takes time. I really personally pressed in for 2 years. And like I said, when I was 13, I said I would be an exercise therapist. And I spent 34 years as a health coach in a variety of different ways. So that's always going to line up with who I am. But the purpose has shifted through time. So it takes some pressing in, listening to that inner voice, doing some of the exercises. So things like I said, I did strength finders, I did the DISC profiles, I did the Enneagram, some of these different things to really show, how am I wired? What are my strengths? How did God design me? And then how can I use that to really bring my purpose, my passion, and even my profit all together? And that's where you hit that sweet spot. Do you know someone who's just living in their purpose and you can tell they are lit up? I mean, 67% of people hate their jobs. And we're not just talking about your job here. Your job may actually fund your purpose, and that's okay. So go back to, what are the dreams in my heart? What legacy do I want to leave? I mean, it's a lot of good open-ended questions that you need to ask yourself. And as you're figuring it out, start taking steps in that direction. So here's my hack for your purpose. I mentioned meditation before. If you're going to spend any time meditating, a great place to start would be meditating on your purpose. So taking time, getting quiet, shutting out all the noise, calming your mind. You can focus on just the light in the room. You can just focus on your breath, but ask good questions. Really get in touch with your heart and start to listen to the answers that you get. You might get frustrated. That's okay. Just recenter yourself, breathe, start again. You might not get answers the first time, but eventually you will, and it will start to make sense, and you'll get confirmation, and then the excitement will build. And I promise you it's there, but you may need to dig for it, or maybe you know what it is, and that's awesome. Develop that, because that's what you're designed for. That's what you're here for. Okay, good. So we are on number 6, divine health. This is my jam. As I said, I'm a health coach. I want everyone to be healthy, but man, I understand that there's days you don't want to get out of bed. I understand that your brain is fogged at a certain stage of it. It is PTSD. It is a trauma. It is traumatic, and you feel like, I can't think, I can't function. I was making mistakes. I was making banking mistakes. I know I was driving my kids crazy because they go, Mom, you just asked us that. Mom, we just told you that. And so I stayed healthy through this process. I couldn't imagine not being healthy, but a lot of people are not, whether you didn't start healthy or it was kind of a slow fade as all these things were kind of piled on you. It just felt like heavy chains. So this is something that we can all do something about. You're in charge of what passes your lips. You're in charge of the movement every single day. This is also mental fitness as well. So again, I could spend hours on this, but I want to give you a few hacks. So do something to move every day. Obviously, moving outside in nature would be awesome. Even just walking at sunrise or sunset will change your whole outlook on the day. It'll change your metabolism. Food, you are in control. If I had to give you, and I don't even like the word control, but if I had to give you a quick hack on food, Mediterranean diet. So we're looking at fruits, veggies, healthy fats, and lean, fish, meat, some nuts, avocado. That is just a good boundary or barometer. Cleaning out the pantry, get the junk out, because it represents so many other things than just the food. It's clutter, it's mental health, it's emotional health. Just getting junk out, you'll feel so much better. Faith is part of divine health. We are designed to be healthy. We're designed to be well. We're designed to live 120 years functioning in good health, taking care of ourselves in what we'll call these middle years. If you're anywhere from 30 to 50 plus, is going to mean being healthy in the end years, living those longer, stronger, more vibrant, energetic years. You've probably heard of miraculous, spontaneous healings. Those things happen. That's real. Again, the words and the belief have to do with that. And I'll leave you with this hack, because this is something we can all do. So fasting and feeding. There's 2 different seasons, feeding and fastings, in our 24 hours. Most people fast for 12 and feed for 12. So I'm suggesting you shorten that feeding window and you extend the fasting window. So if you normally eat at 7, try eating at 8, and then try and push it to 9, and then 10. And what you'll notice is not only will you be less hungry, but what happens during that fasting time, it's a great time for spiritual connection. Your metabolism goes up. Something called autophagy, which is really getting all the dead stuff out, happens. hormones are regulated. Ladies, anyone's hormones go off track? I said I was served with divorce papers at 49, right at those prime menopause years. Fast and get your hormones naturally back on track. Yes, you're going to shed some excess pounds and weight. So if that's something that's important to you, then that's always going to feel good, right? Feeling good in all your clothes. So wanted to leave you with that intermittent fasting hack. Shorten your feeding window, extend your fasting window, use the fasting for quiet meditation, prayer time, and use the feeding to really eat the most healthiest things that fuel your body for vitality. Awesome, ladies, we're getting there. Okay, number 7, abundant wealth. I mentioned that the greatest poverty level is women and specifically single moms. Your current thinking, habits, behaviors got you where you are right now with your wealth, and I hope it's amazing. I hope money is not an issue for you, but abundance is more than just money. So I want to help you banish this poverty mindset. So for the poverty mindset, it is rampant. Oh my goodness. I hear people and they're saying things like, well, rich get richer, the poor get poorer, money doesn't grow on trees, and I don't have the money for that. And just all the negative untruths that we learned about money that we believe. Jim Rohn says that you are the product of the people that you hang around with. So who are you hanging around with, and what is the fruit in their lives? Do they have abundant wealth in many areas, not just money? People who have a poverty mindset, they feel unworthy. They don't want to spend money on their education. They think they're not valued. They don't want to do anything that's extravagant at all, ever. So you might need to change your friend group. So mastering money is also a spirit, mind, body approach. In fact, if you read the Bible, if you've ever read the Bible, money is the topic that is talked about in abundance more than any other thing. So it must be pretty important. But again, abundance is more than money. So here's my hack for you, number 7, with abundant wealth. This is a wellness wheel. And so these are the areas of abundant wealth that we talk about, and you might be great in one area. So for me, my friend group, thank God, was so strong. I mean, I had incredible friends that came around me, supported me, sent me the right word at the right time, and just so thankful for that friend group. Professionally, things kind of went away for me for a little bit because I couldn't focus, and thankfully I had income, so I wasn't real high in abundance professionally. In fact, I was really frustrated there. So looking at this wheel and looking at yourself, where is your abundance spiritually, socially, your physical health? Maybe romance and intimacy is, just not important right now, and that's okay to put that aside. Dating probably should not be on your radar if this is the season that you're in. And then finances is part of it too. So focus on the place that's doing well and really treasure and use that resource. So like I said, if it's family, if it is career, whatever's going well, focus on that. And then choose the next one where you are willing to start to build and grow and come up with a plan and take steps in that direction. Now, this wheel will never be completely round and perfect. That is not what it's about, but it's about growing in that area so that the next time a crisis happens, that it's not going to be, a major dramatic thing for you because you have abundant wealth. And we'll get to number 8 finally, last but not least, celebration. Oh my goodness, I was not great at this in my life. I hope that you are. Maybe this is what you got going on. You are good about just honoring things and celebrating and going out and having fun and being social and whatever it looks like for you. And as I said, resurrection is literally like coming from a dead place and just rising up and celebrating. So it's about being able to live in imperfection and still have great delight. It is every day looking for miracles, because I promise they're happening every day around you. It's about celebrating and being celebrated. Sometimes as women and as moms, we put everyone else first because we're the caregivers, and then, Mother's Day rolls around or your birthday or whatever it might be, and you don't feel celebrated. Remember, that comes from the inside. Celebration creates a success mindset. It gives you those happy endorphins, and it just makes you feel like a resurrected, intentionally fabulous woman. So I'm excited about that. And your hack here, I decided that I'm not going to tell you this one, that your celebration might look so different from mine. Maybe yours is gardening. Maybe yours is yoga. Maybe yours is a hike. Maybe it's a bath. Maybe it's playing music, singing music. I don't know what your celebration is, but decide what it is and then just go out and give yourself permission to go and do it. Schedule it and make it happen. So stay tuned because I want to share some more with you. So those are the 8 steps. I hope you got some great value out of that. And there's the recap. Steps 1 through 8, recovering from the pain of a divorce, getting to an amazing bonus life of all the things I did in the last 2 years. And I could have chosen 12 or 20, but I whittled it down to these 8 being the most impactful. So I'm not sure why you came today, but I'm so thankful you did. You know, maybe you're really stuck and it has been too long and you're feeling depressed and hurt and you were treated unfairly. Your dreams have been shattered. You're just unsure about your future. Maybe you're paralyzed by fear. You just feel like the divorce is the end. You just can't get past it. Or maybe you've heard some of the buzz and the excitement around the people that I've been working with in this Intentionally Fabulous program and you want to be a part of it. And perhaps you just want me to lay it all out for you so you can just put one foot in front of the other and get out of where you are, unstuck, and into an in place of intentionally fabulous. So intentionally fabulous rocks. Of all the things I've done in my career, and I've done some amazing, amazing things, this by far is the one I'm the most excited about, and it is the best transforming spirit, mind, and body. So if you feel like there's a reason that you were on this call and it was not by accident, but you were meant to be here, I want to help you get started with something right now. So what are some of the benefits of Intentionally Fabulous? This is what I have put together for you. Week 1, right away, literally immediately, just in making the decision to be part of the Intentionally Fabulous community, you're going to start to get relief. Just deciding. You're going to start to experience inner healing while imagining a great future. You're going to have the opportunity to forgive yourself, to get past the hurts. And this is really cool. I created an Intentionally Fabulous healing activation guide for each of these 8 strategies. And each week, this is a workbook. It means you've got work to do, but I've done a lot of the work for you. So you're meeting me halfway. It includes affirmations, meditations, visualizations, activations, and celebrations for each one of those 8 strategies. So I've got an amazing just amount of information that I put together to help you, but just enough to get you to the next level. This is all the high level masterful stuff that helped me. So if there's one thing to take away, I've literally willed it down to these 8 topics. It has changed my world and all of the ladies that I have been coaching. So if you want to be a higher version of yourself and you're ready to wake up every day feeling like the best is yet to come, drum roll. This is the question. How much longer are you willing to stay in pain? If you have been suffering, do you want to stay there? I'm hoping that answer is no, because you have a choice, right? You get to decide. Don't do it the slow, painful way. Literally, if you are trying to do this by yourself, it's like taking a baby aspirin when you have cancer. I promise you, it is so difficult to do this alone. I have met the women in the divorce recovery programs. I've seen how difficult this can be. I wish there was something out there for me. That's why I created this, to help singles live a redefined, renewed life. So what is Intentionally Fabulous? It is my complete step-by-step program designed to take you by the hand to discover the new you, to get you out of grief, not only to healthy, but to intentionally fabulous, better than you could ever ask, think, or imagine. And while I would say that it's not something you can rush completely in 8 weeks, wow, ladies, you can be so much better. If I had this, it wouldn't have taken me 2 years to go from fearful, which I was, to fearless. So Intentionally Fabulous, it's an 8-week soul, mind, body course. And I walk you through all those 8 major strategies to take you from grief to great. When you join the program, you get instant access. So right away, I've got some bonuses in there. And wait, I'm about to tell you about the bonuses. This might be the best part. I might be more excited about the bonuses than the actual program. Might, not completely, but might. You get the complete healing workbook, that activation guide with all the affirmations, visualizations, meditations, activations, and celebrations, and then this amazing community. You cannot do this without a community of supporting women. It is just torture and torment to try and do this alone. So imagine waking up confident, forgiving the past, renewing your mind, all the things we talked about, loving yourself, living in gratitude, finding your purpose, being in health, being in an abundance of flow and wealth, and just celebrating a new bonus life. So here it is, lady. I am introducing to you Intentionally Fabulous Single Redefined. And I've got to tell you, I am thrilled with how this has all come together. I have literally spent over $50,000 personally hiring coaches, going on retreats, going to the courses, going to the summits, hiring the gurus. And I have put all the high level steps, so clean, so professional. You can see this is actually the back office here, just week by week by week with all the bonuses in there, audio recordings of the affirmations. So you just have to listen to them and agree with them. So the program includes 8 weeks. It starts on Monday, October 12th. That's a special day for me. That would have been my dad's 75th birthday. He's no longer here. And I will go live for 90 minutes and go more deep on all of these topics so you truly get it. And then there is also the healing guide and then the support of the community. So that's the basics of this program. And so you get all of that, the 8 modules, everything I just explained, including the activation guide. And so you're probably wondering, well, Kelly, what does this cost? You just said you spent like $50,000 and you traveled all over. And I did. I was in Phoenix. I was in Miami. I was all over. I was all over Dallas. I was virtual. I was everywhere. You could hire a divorce coach, which I am a certified divorce coach through the American Academy of Christian Counselors. You could hire a life coach, which I also am, a health coach, which I also am, a nutritionist. I'm a certified nutrition specialist. Therapist, licensed therapist, and you may need some counseling also, but what I will tell you is you will spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and I am not taking any more one-on-one clients. I'm booked. I can't even take any more. So what would you be paying to master all of these things yourself? I promise you it's not $10,000, it's not even $5,000, it's not even close to $5,000. So hang on, here's the drum roll. It's, ladies, are you ready? Are you sitting down? It's less than $50 a week. I wanted to make this affordable because this is my heart to help. This is what I've been working on for the last 2 years. This is what lights me on fire. I don't want women to be stuck. I don't want them to be unworthy. I don't want them to be unwell. I want this to be affordable for everyone, and let this be the catalyst. I want to pay it forward so that the next person, that you can go out and do great things in whatever your plan and your purpose and your family generationally is. So $397 for the 8-week course. You can go to intentionallyfabulous.com /now, but wait 1 second before you do, because I have more for you. So again, there's just a recap. You get the 8 weeks, you get the live course, you get the training, the guide, the private Facebook support training. I will go in there and do some more training, extra training every week. But here was the massive revelation. As I was putting this together, I started to look back over the 2 years, and I thought, who helped me? And wow, oh my goodness, if my students could be a fly on the wall to the experts, the world-class leaders who helped me, wouldn't that be amazing? So I literally called the 20 people who helped me and said, would you consider doing a bonus interview for my Intentionally Fabulous program. My heart is to help women going through healing or separation and divorce to heal, and every single one said yes. Unbelievable. So let me quickly introduce you to some of my friends. Dr. Amy Novotny. She is a world-class breath therapist, doctor of physical therapy, and you have to read her bio. So many amazing world-class things about her. Marathoner. She's been divorced. She helped me with breath therapy. Your body holds so much trauma, you don't even realize it. My ribs weren't even expanding. One session with her, and I was whistling and singing in the grocery store. It was amazing. Jeanette Ortega, world-class fitness coach, Butoga instructor. She is a leading meditation expert. She did my meditation training, and she did a live training on meditation. It is key. I know you're all hearing about meditation, but we do a 1-hour interview about the who, what, where, when, why, and how on meditation so that you really get it. Sophia Stavron, she is an energy healer. Wow. My session with her was absolutely extraordinary. She is from Greece, and she does something called Philotimo lifestyle, and you'll have to watch the bonus to really learn it. But after my session with her, I felt so light and healed. My brain, as I said, was fogged. So Ron White is a US 2-time memory champion. I asked him, Ron, how do we remember when we're stressed? What do we do? What are some healing foods for brain health and so on? He gave some incredible strategies and tips for us. Linda has been my friend for 28 years. She was actually in my wedding party. Linda is a certified nutrition specialist. She's a functional nutritional diagnostic practitioner. She did a 1-hour interview on just health. I send all of my hard clients to Linda, and she did a great interview. She gave us grocery lists and so on. Linda has been divorced twice. Just about everyone who I chose, almost everyone, has also been divorced, so they understand the pain. Bonus 6, Brian Hackney. This was my personal counselor. I sat on his couch every other week for almost 3 years. Incredible content in this interview. I also created something for your children because, let's face it, the statistics for divorced children are not great, but they can adapt. They don't have to be a bad statistic. They can be a good one. So I wanted to give you some details on how to help your children adapt while you're healing. I mentioned the Passionistas book. You're going to get that also. Jeanette gave us a live audio training, a peace and love meditation. So you get that. I mentioned Rock Thomas, incredible interview, 1 hour with him on what is great about this. You will love it. Taylor, she actually teaches a divorce recovery class, and she is a child of divorce. So she also gave us the perspective of what it's like to be a child of parents that get divorced and what to do and not to do. And also she has degrees in communication and conflict resolution. Do you think that's something that we need to deal with when going through separation and divorce? Yes. My friend Francine was my grief counselor. Just amazing content there about how to grieve and how not to grieve. My incredible friend, Lynn Ann, we are great, great friends. I personally have not had sexual trauma, but when she shared the statistics with me, I asked her to do a bonus interview because I know 1 in 4 women, shockingly, has had sexual trauma, may have been childhood or later. Dennis, I love that we have a guy's perspective. Dennis went through all of the warrior man training and just gives us such unbelievable healing perspective about how men think and why they think that way and why it's not our fault, honestly. Kyle Wilson has been an incredible mentor and friend of mine. In fact, he's the one who introduced me to several of these other healing therapists. And he talks about, not quitting, overcoming the hard stuff, being resilient, shares some great, great stories. He's been in personal development his whole life. My dear friend Jordy, she wrote Single on Purpose and Married on Purpose. So she talks about, what's good about that. What is the strategy there? Great 1-hour interview with her. We're getting there. Can you believe all these bonuses? My friend Roy, he was the one who really helps me with a lot of the deep exercises about, who am I and who do I want to be and how do I get there and how do I reinvent myself? It was such a turning point and so powerful for me. And again, many of these people have been divorced, Roy included. Lisa, she teaches Reengage. She was the one who encouraged me to go to divorce recovery. Reengage is when you're back healthy and you're ready to start dating again, and you go through a Reengage course and that process so that you can do the next relationships even better. Number 19, my friend Linda is an amazing single person. She has never been married, and she has this incredible single life. So she's going to teach us about what is great about being single, because being alone doesn't mean lonely. And oh my goodness, these last two, Carla, I went on a retreat with Carla through what I call a Godsidence. And I left this 3-day retreat fully feeling so healed and so set free. Carla is a pro. She will help you get rid of pain, rebuild relationships, enjoy your life again. And finally, Sweet Beth, she was my divorce recovery instructor. We have become great friends. She had a very public divorce that involved infidelity. And in our interview, we talk about how to deal with that, how not to deal with it, what about the kids, and more. So, wow. Can you believe those bonuses? So, wanted to give you these options one more time. The Intentionally Fabulous, here on the right, the Fresh Start Pearl program, $50 a week, and you get the course, you get the workbook, you get the support, and lifetime access. Now, we're calling this a founder's price because I am never doing this again. Like, this is the only time, the one time that you can get that price. You will never see it at $50, less than $50 a week again. So if you look over here at the Fearless Diamond Group Coaching, this is the group that, for a little bit more money, they are also getting, besides the course and the 90-minute live training, I am going to do a 1-hour live Q&A on Thursday. So live training Monday, which everyone is on. Thursday, I'm going to do a Q&A for the Diamond Group where they get to come on and ask me any questions that they want. And they also get all 21 of those bonuses valued at well over $4,000. And the founder's price is $997. And then finally, this VIP, this fabulous Platinum VIP, they get everything the Diamond gets, but in addition, they also get one-on-one coaching with me once a week for the 8 weeks, a 30-minute private session with me, and they also get a private Facebook community that this is just limited to 10. I can only take 10 of these, and the founder's price is $1997. I will do a special guest interview every week for the founding VIP people in their private group, just for the 10 people. And so it's going to be more intimate in that group. So those are the 3 options. And I so appreciate you staying to the end. I want to tell you that I want you to be 100% satisfied. And if you're not, I would not dream of even keeping your money. So there's 100% money back guarantee. You can read the details there about how that works. But wow, it is more than fair. If you are not completely satisfied, you keep the workbook, you keep the program, you keep the bonuses, and we cheerfully refund 100% of your money. So you have nothing to lose, honestly. We just took that objection away. Wanted to share a few of the testimonials with you. Sweet Kim, her husband had an affair, total surprise. And the more she found out that he had this whole other life, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Her life was rocked. And lots of, everything in her life, as you can imagine, changed. And so we did this whole spirit, mind, body approach. And wow, Kim is doing so amazing. I'm so proud of her. She actually has a new man in her life. She is re-engaged. Her children are in college and master's degree. She has a new job. She's living where she wants. And oh my goodness, it just so thrills my heart to hear that. This is another sweet person, Nicole. She was divorced 7 years, and we connected on this, and she was still in trauma. She was still going through the same cycle with, repeating with men over and over and over, still really attached to her ex-husband, and, just in a place of anxiety and low self-esteem. And wow, she was open. She came with an open heart, open mind, open spirit. And she just sucked up this content. She took it in and she applied it, and she's never been more at peace. She's attracting healthier relationships and really just content with who she is. And this is another sweet story. Joanne, her husband, just came home one day and said, yeah, I think I'm going to take an apartment downtown, and just kind of left her in limbo, out in the suburbs. And he had this, just left. And so she was just, as you can imagine, being in limbo. It was awful. She was barely functional for a long, long time. And when we started, having these conversations, and I just started speaking these 8 strategies into her life, oh my goodness, there's a great bounce in her step now. She has her confidence back. She's being proactive. She's volunteering. She's released just so much, things like control that a lot of us do. And I'm just so, so proud of her and how well that she's doing. So as a reminder, those are the 3 options that you can right now go to intentionallyfabulous.com/now and choose one of these 3. Founder's price, less than $50 a week. If you want all the bonuses, then go for the Fearless Diamond group coaching. And if you want the personalized coaching and the extra bonus interviews, then I'm only taking 10. This is the very first call that I'm doing. I'm doing 4 or 5 more calls before this program launches on October 12th. So truly, you're having the very first option to be one of those first 10, because that will close out. I absolutely cannot take more than 10. There's no way. And here's another bonus. So Linda offered this incredible 30-day healthy, nourishing detox plan. She gives this to her clients. She charges $400 for this, and it is worth it. She gives you, it's all done for you. She gives you the grocery shopping list. She gives you the recipes, the meal plan, and she even gave you a bonus 60 days of recipes with Linda, diagnostic, nutrition practitioner, functional integrative health coach. So there's a great start for you, and you get this right away if you sign up in the next 10 minutes. So this offer expires pretty quickly. So if health is something you want to do, and you're going to do this, you may as well do it in the next 10 minutes. So again, there's those 8 modules, those 8 strategies. Here's the review of those incredible bonuses, 21 amazing bonuses. All those interviews are loaded in that Intentionally Fabulous program and ready to be released to you week by week. There's some that are in there already right away that you can start immediately. So if you're ready, when you get your login information, which you'll get in an email, you can start going in and listening right away. And I definitely, definitely encourage that. And we'll be getting you in the Facebook group. So you made it to the end. Congratulations. I hope you're feeling more intentionally fabulous. I hope you feel like you're vibrating on a little bit of a higher level and you have some more hope than you did before. I don't want you to spend another day, definitely not months, definitely not years, and definitely not thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of dollars getting well. This is the best thing that I know you can do. I wish I had this program. And I will say that if you thought of anyone while we were doing this content, this webinar, please invite them. Any woman who you know who has gone through any stages of even just thinking about separating, and believe me, I'm all for reconciliation. We'll talk about that. Through separation, divorce, and even years after post-divorce, but they're still not healed. They're still just sick, not well, not moving on. There's something better inside them. Please send them to intentionallyfabulous.com. There'll be another webinar tomorrow, October 1st. There'll be one on Sunday. And if for some reason they can't make it live, they will get the replay. So friends, I'm going to wrap it up there and just say that I appreciate you. I love you all. I am so excited for what's possible for you and the potential with Intentionally Fabulous. This is the beginning of a movement. This is going to be something so incredible. One heart, one soul, one body, one mind at a time. I'm excited for you. I want to thank you again for your time. And I look forward to seeing you in our community. And please do, I'm going to just see if Tori has any questions for me. I am going to actually stop the share and go back to the screen here. Oh, okay. So let's see. Tori's got some questions for me. Camille's question about being an introvert. When did you become brave when it comes to speaking? You know what, Camille, that is a great question. So I just always felt like I wanted to be well myself, and I hated seeing people not well. We're going to choose something. So when I saw people doing things that were destructive and harmful and just kind of numbing the pain, I just said to myself, you have to muster up the courage. And courage is really the tipping point to just be able to stand up there and to share your message, because it's not about you and it's not about your ego. It's about putting the information out there and not being attached to the outcome, but hoping and praying that it falls on the right ears and the right people hear it at the right time. And so you start small, with a little audience, and then it gets bigger and bigger, and your confidence builds. And you have to be okay with it not being perfect. And you have to be okay with just being a vehicle and letting things flow through you. And with time and practice, you get better. So that's a great question. Thank you so much. Let's see, Tori, I'm not sure if you have any questions. Did I miss any questions? Okay, Camille, adjusting to loss. Okay, I can see the chat now. So if there's anyone who has any questions and you want to put them in there, that is awesome. I'm gonna save the chat so we can see it. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. Thank you, everyone. Love and appreciate you all. Go out and be intentionally fabulous. Thanks for attending, and have an awesome night.